Welcome everyone to the select board meeting. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I do know that tomorrow is Veterans Day, so it's nice at Poultney that we thank all of our local veterans and taking part of the weekend, all the veterans, all the people at dinner who will help support us and serve. So we thank you very, very much. I had a chance to check out the agenda. We will have executive session tonight.
Yes, I'm making a motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
Do you have a second? I'll second it. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we're gonna have a chance to check over the minutes from October 27th. Questions, comments?
They seem good.
That's 27, 25. Second then.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That Hyde's name is spelled wrong, but then I looked at it, like, I don't really know how to spell it anyway, so that looks really good. It's a tricky spelling. He gave it to me once, so I'm like, that's it, but.
That's the real full name.
Wow, what a perfect timing. Little sleet, little snow. Ready for the road report.
Oh, good. Last meeting, I told you truck 3, the 2012 Dodge Ram. We weren't sure if it would make it through the winter or whatever. It had an issue since then, turned out to be a wire spec. They got it back up and running, and now it's out for head gaskets. Truck. So hopefully once that's done, the truck will get us through the winter. Truck 4, the 1984 Chevy that the board made the motion to do the head gaskets on. After getting it in there and asking for Vermont state inspection as well, it turned out that that truck would need a substantial amount of work, and we would have been looking at like $10,000. So we just pulled the truck back. I mean, it's a 1984, doesn't even have a plow, doesn't have a sander. Yeah, so Paul and I talked about it, and we figured we would leave that information with the board for you to decide to, you know, where to go from there with that truck. So that truck is it's sitting at the garage for now.
Back home.
Back home. It already got 3, I think this is 3 hours into it, and all they were able to do was repair one of the 2 or 3 fuel leaks on the truck. 20 hours they figured to do the head gasket job. Sending out the head gasket to get planed down, they're not sure how much that would be. That really depends on I guess a number of different things. I'm not certain, but anyways, that would have been 20 hours to do the head gaskets and actually fix all of the fuel leaks, or that's an estimated 20 hours at $148 an hour. So a pretty fair amount of labor. There's a bunch of parts that are required for Vermont state inspection that they can't even get for the truck, or back ordered, or they can't find the parts. So like I said, Paul and I discussed it, and we just thought it was best to hold off. So
1984, can you make parts of that?
It is a
Good.
other than that, as you can see, it's snowing outside. I don't really expect it to accumulate much at this point, but the ground temperature is still above freezing, so I don't really see any need to pull salt on it, even if it does accumulate to 1 inch or something tonight. I'm just getting back in the winter routine to remind people, if it's 2 inches or less, we're probably not gonna plow the back roads in the later part of the evening. We live in the Northeast, we expect this kind of weather. If it's not plowable snow, we're really wasting taxpayer dollars at that point. So, and putting salt down when the ground temperature is above freezing is kind of, maybe situation dictates, but for the most part, we're probably not gonna do it. Other than that, that's really all I've got.
Any questions for board? Do you have any questions for Joel?
Yeah, but I remember we discussed in the 1984 and we were at the fork in the road, like repair it, or do we have quotes already for like a replacement? I forget where that was.
The replacement truck,
Yeah,
we
like,
do not.
okay, but that's something we'll look into or whatever.
But it's something we can look into, yeah.
I just couldn't remember where we left it on that.
Mhm.
Well, the board left it with approving don't quote me on this number, but I think it was like $2,800 head gasket
Yeah.
repair, but like I said, we got it there. They overlooked it for Vermont State Inspection and found a whole slew
Yeah,
of additional
like
things
can
that were,
worms.
yeah. And wiring being the biggest one, because that was originally a 24-volt truck that got changed to a 12-volt system, and it's kind of a mess, so.
We're using the same sand as last year, so people know that.
Yeah,
See-
yeah, we are still using the same 3/8 clear stone that kind of has a grayish tan appearance to it. So unless you're really looking for it or you know what you're looking for, you might not see it on snowy roads. But if you saw the plow truck go through, there's a good chance that either we put material down or he just ran out and they'll be coming back to put material down. So I know that was a tough changeover to get used to from the brown sand to the stuff that's hardly visible, but it really does offer a lot more traction. Even so, one thing that we did discover about that last year too is you can get up to probably roughly 2 inches of snow on top of that stone, and if the ground's frozen, then the stone's not really pushing into the ground, so you're actually getting traction biting through the snow, even though you may not see it at the surface. So it has worked out amazingly, and it didn't plow off the roads because it wasn't going to pound into the ground. We wondered if maybe we would plow it off into the ditches, and I'm in 6 years well. So he does back roads on basically on asphalt. I don't think we've found any adverse effects of switching that material, and it's a better product to put back into our roads because it's the same thing.
We got it.
Same consistency that we're trying to get these roads hard and, not have the washes. If you notice this year compared to some of the previous years, when it rains on the back roads, they don't get that slimy,
Yes.
icy feeling that they were getting before too. So,
Have you worked it out with the village? So if there's something going on with the Saltwood Bridge, we're all set with that.
yeah, so we operate on the same radio channel, so they can hear us and we can hear them, and they can hear us when we complain about them, and both ways.
So we're good to go. So people.
Yeah, so if they need something, they'll holler.
So we haul it to Alan instead of.
Yeah.
Good, great.
We have a team.
Thank the guys for all you do for getting ready. Good. No other questions?
Make some kind of official decision on the truck, or
I don't know enough to, anybody, I don't know what it's about later.
I think it's time to move that truck down the road. We've had some offers, and Joel and Dickie and I talked about it, and I think in fairness to everybody that we should, seek bids for the truck.
Is it worth anything? For someone.
I think we've been offered, we've been offered some money. There's the age of that truck and the axles of that truck, and even, correct me if I'm wrong, even that motor are things that people want.
Oh, so I see. You can get, okay.
It was a military ambulance, so it's got beefed up axles in it and beefed up leaf springs and stuff, and that's pretty sought after by people that do Jeep builds and whatever else. So I think $1,500 was $1,500 or $2,500 was a cash offer as we were actually bringing it to Earl's, and one of the mechanics saw it and said, "Hey, I'll give you this right now for that truck." So I have not done like a Kelly Blue Book value, which isn't necessarily even on point with that particular truck, but I really don't know what the potential value of it is. I think maybe a couple grand. That's, That's gonna be our best.
So what does the
Or out the
board think?
bid.
Is there like a stand?
Yeah, or
What
out
do we
bid.
do? Is there a standard procedure when we kind of have
I mean, is it,
an auction or
The
something?
sign on it.
We put it out by the road before and put a for sale sign on it and just left the number and had some offers. Not this particular truck, but in the past.
Mhm.
We could do a sealed bid on it, which would probably be that'd probably be our best bet for what the truck is. Cause it's not, it's not really, nobody's gonna buy it to go drive it down the road.
Yeah. It's a specialty thing.
Right, they're gonna want it to tear it apart and build something with it.
so it's a board want?
Yeah. I would make-
I'll do that, make a motion.
I would make a motion to put it out front for what, 2 weeks and take bids on it? Silent bids.
Do we feel that we can let Paul and Joel decide the best bid?
That's the highest bid, right?
I mean, usually your solicitation for bids, you say you reserve the right to
Yeah.
reject any and all
Right.
offers.
Right.
But yeah. It's on my list of things to do.
What,
Yeah.
what?
And if nobody offers you more than
I
a
would-
garage guy, give him a call.
Yeah. I would make a motion to do that.
Okay, I have a second.
I'd second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Motion carries.
So that was 2 weeks, you said, in that motion, Mark?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. 2 weeks.
Thank you, Joel. Thank the crew. Thank you, Dickie, for coming in. Do you have anything you want to talk or ask?
Want the truck taken?
Wait for vacation.
Perfect. All right, thanks, guys. Okay, Sarah.
Okay, so I had the MERP RFP, MERP projects on as the only item for my update tonight. So the town has gone through the latest version of the RFP for the town's MERP projects, which are phase one. We're approaching as a phase one for the town office improvements and the senior center improvements are the only two that will be in this first phase. We've gone through 3 iterations of the RFP, just so the board knows, and very much would like to publish the RFP. We're probably looking at, 4 to 6 week process of site visits, receiving questions from bidders, responding to those questions, and then accepting the bids. So I know the board is aware of the energy conservation measures that were outlined in the assessments from 2023. But just as a quick reminder, they are prioritized by Act 172 and statute. So those 2 buildings will be receiving improvements first related to the building envelope, second to fuel switching and HVAC systems, and that's related to heat pumps primarily. Third is lighting and mechanicals. Fourth is ventilation. 5th and 5 is resilience measures. The grant also allows up to 20% of the building improvements to be put into ADA accessibility. So both of those buildings have small projects related to ADA accessibility into the buildings. The reason that I wanted to bring it up with the board tonight is that I don't have a clear directive as to the resilience measures, number 5, which is related to solar systems. Both of the buildings were recommended for a 17 kilowatt solar system to be mounted on the roof. In previous conversations, we've determined that neither the town office nor the senior center are probably sufficient to house those solar systems. So we had talked about locating a solar system on a different building. So Mark and I have been talking about that a little bit, and I just want to bring it to the board because we need a clear directive to issue this RFP. One thing that I think is important to note is that because this is phase 1, phase 2 could potentially be put to the town garage or Stonebridge and the other building that was in the town. We had 4, 5, didn't we?
Right.
No,
Firehouse.
No, just those three.
Sorry. Okay, so we've got two other buildings. So, if the town decides to use a fair amount for a solar array in phase one, you would have less later on in the project for phase two. So I think what I'm really asking is for the board to give me some directive as to how you want to proceed with a potential solar array. And it sounds as though Mark has, is solicited an estimate for that solar array. We have one estimate already for the solar array to be mounted on, I believe we had originally looked at the firehouse, right? Is that the building?
They give me estimates for both the firehouse and the sand shed.
Okay.
They haven't showed up.
Okay, so the estimate for the firehouse, if I'm remembering correctly, was somewhere in the vicinity of $130,000. And MERP would not, we were originally investigating that to see if we could include it in the MERP project, and it cannot be included because the firehouse was not a building that was assessed. However, the town garage was assessed and the sand shed was part of that. So I am trying to determine whether or not a solar installation on the sand shed would qualify for the MERP project. So the board needs to decide if they want to delay issuing the RFP to further investigate a solar array on the sand shed, or if we return to the topic later in the process and issue the RFP for the improvements in the two buildings.
Are we locked into a set price per building, or is it,
No, no.
it's whatever goes to this building, whatever goes to the other building? It's not, we're not
Right.
locked in to say this one has to have more and that one has
You're not.
equal, we're not.
No.
Okay.
And it would be a competitive bid process for the entire scope of work. So contractor would have to, have subs. You probably want a GC and subs for different types or for different forms of construction. So that's kind of where we're at. We can't delay it a whole lot longer because we need to get the work under contract and start construction.
The board, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts on proceeding with the solar panel, putting it off? Because that would basically, if we didn't do the solar panels, it would put more money towards phase two. What you're saying, right?
I think we should leave them off for now.
Yeah, I
Get
agree.
rolling. Seems like we don't have a clear best option for solar.
That's, we're not sure about the sand shed
Yeah.
number one either.
Yes.
So
We don't,
it's a
there's too
question
much
mark.
questions.
Yeah,
Right, there are questions on it. I wish were answered, but they don't.
yeah, we don't have any, they don't.
But the issue with the seniors is we can't really assess much of that money unless we're going to change the furnace to electric. They don't want that number 2 fuel furnace in there anymore. Right, Sarah?
Yeah.
Right, so it's kind of a, I don't know, catch-22 is the right term, but to get to the bulk of that money, we have to change the furnace.
Mhm.
And yet the furnace is working. Now, Paul, I was supposed to ask you what the state said about what was wrong with that furnace
just a couple,
pipes.
no, just a couple things, and I talked to the company that's gonna be servicing our furnaces, and he said that the one thing I'm not a plumber or a furnace man, but I sent him the report that
Okay.
they sent us.
Right.
The one thing I said that he pointed out, he said, oh, that's not a big deal at all.
Right, because Carrie does complain about a fume smell occasionally. I haven't smelled it yet.
I smelled it over there.
Right. Right. So, anyway, that's sort of because I wish it was a clearer choices here, but.
Yeah, the only clear choice, semi-clear would be the firehouse, but that's not an option.
That's not really,
So it's not an option.
no.
So there's,
I'm gonna call the guy tomorrow and to try to get these estimates coming from.
Does that help you at all, Sarah?
No,
No.
I heard you saying
You made
let's
the
not include solar, just at
Right.
this
Yeah.
point.
So is that a motion to, okay, Paul, Alan, you made a motion not to include it?
Was it a motion? or
we need a
did
motion or we just?
We need a motion from Sarah, right?
I'll make a motion, we can't include solar in the
But
current.
we can put the solar back into it. Right, Sarah?
I don't know what you mean by back into it, like at a later date, you mean? Yeah, I mean, yes, you can. If we can find the correct location, we will likely have plenty of money left over to investigate a solar array at a later date. Yeah,
With the new RFP.
with a new RFP.
RFP. Do I have anyone second Jay's motion?
Sure.
Alan second, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried, we'll hold off on that. Thank you, Sarah.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. That's it for me tonight.
That's it. Thank you, Sarah, for all you do.
Mhm.
There's a lot going on.
Hmm.
Hey, Mr. Dawson,
So Chief Kerber asked to be put on the agenda to discuss, brush truck, so I'll give you the floor, Aaron.
Give me for reports at all or anything as well that I could do.
Yeah, you could give out reports if you have them.
Let's go first. With the October's activity report, October, really very busy month. Getting around, sir. Very busy month for us, 21 total calls, which is quite a few for us.
Matt.
Top of that, not on that report, but I have your notes. We ended up at the Fire Academy Sunday, the October 20th or 19th. Live burn training for the day with Fairhaven. So we were up there with 2 of our trucks, and then we added dozen, well, we were probably 14 guys up there for the day. Training in their live burn buildings. We're training with real fire, real smoke, real water. Then October 29th, we're down at PES for fire prevention and safety with the students down there. We got to see approximately 204 kids and talk to them about fire safety. So
That's
good
nice.
thing. Beginning of the month, we did apply for a wildland fire grant. That's a 50-50 grant with the state of Vermont, upwards of $3,000. So it's a $3,000 request. Total project, we'll end up paying $1,500 if we get awarded the grant. Usually it's fairly win-win that everybody gets a hold of it. So we're hoping to hear back from that later this week or whatnot.
What would you use that for?
The grant?
Yeah.
Wildland fire grant, wildland and equipment. So we applied for was some more fire hose for wildland fires, as well as gloves and such like that to accommodate or to get on our apparatus. Mostly maybe a new brush truck, but also I'll complement the old one currently. So with
Is that similar to the brush fire you had in Fairhaven that you helped out with? Something like
yeah,
that?
so up there, state of Vermont brought in 1 or 2 trailers, and up there was almost, I think at one point we had 10,000 between the state, Fairhaven, ours. Rutland City had some hose, and we were about 10,000 feet of fire hose that were draped around those acres to help suppress the fire. So for us, the wildland firing hose is a single jacketed, cheaper hose for when you're out in the middle of the woods and something happens to the hose, whereas our structural firefighting hose is very expensive stuff. That stuff's made double jacketed so that when we're inside of a building, it does not fail on us and cause issues. So it would end up actually boasting our numbers. I think it was like 600 feet of 1-inch hose, or 600 feet of 1.5-inch hose and 400 more feet of inch hose. So we can get farther out into the woods when we're out, unfortunately, fighting fire. There's fires that are getting deeper into the woods on us these days. Any questions on the report stuff at all? The big topic of the night would be on top sheets there for you. The top sheet, they're stable. Top sheet is the truck replacement plan. We've been trying to hold to for the last, since I became chief, replace our trucks financially and responsible plan for the firefighters. And for the plan this year, we're supposed to be ordering a brush truck. I know we had talked last year about pausing that purchase with the possibility of buying the new engine, trying to beat the new emission stuff. We did not move forward with that, so we talked earlier this year about getting numbers together for putting together that brush truck, utility truck. Second sheet has those numbers. So what we're looking to do is instead of going to a vendor, multiple vendors, and getting bids on building trucks or whatever, lead times on building trucks is astronomical. Or even finding a demo. What we're proposing is to use money from the truck fund to go and actually buy a cab and chassis ourselves, bring the truck to a local dealer and have a flatbed put on, and then start building the truck from there, buying all the parts and pieces, and then we'd be the ones getting the vendors to mount the stuff, get it wired up, and etc. Instead of going through one place that would do all of it, we just sign a check. So we'll have some skin in the game with the guys having to track it, make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, as well as getting it to and from vendors of various capacities to do all those steps.
How does that work with insurance wise if everybody pieces are doing it? They
So all the stuff that we're going to be doing is all going to be built to or put together to NFPA standard for the truck, meeting the criteria of what the truck's being built for. Part of that's in some of those notes, like the skid tank, NFPA compliant, the lighting, NFPA compliant. Those are the two big features. The FRC InView 360 camera will have data recording on the truck. So it's going down the road. It has 4 different cameras that the operator can see around the vehicle as well as they're being recorded 24 as long as the truck's running. As well as with it being the smaller truck it is, it already has seatbelt monitoring and alarming for that. And that's one of the other bigger safety things that the current truck does not have, of course, any of that. 1992 vintage. So
But if you have more than one person put pieces in, are they each responsible for that piece if it fails? I guess that's kind of what I'm saying. Like if you're having someone put this piece in and someone else put that piece in? Is that
So
what I'm
big-
hearing or no?
So what it would be is we buy the truck, take it to a local vendor, they install the flatbed, and the truck is complete from the flatbed standpoint. Then mounting of the boxes would be a separate vendor. And then putting the skid in would probably be that same vendor. And their insurance would cover those portions. And then the truck would go to who we've used for lights, sirens, and all that stuff for many years.
So you keep track of that. Their lights went or your piece of the truck went and they put it in, they're responsible for
They're
it.
responsible.
Okay, that's something.
Yes, that would be something that, so what we're trying to do is cut the costs. We have talked with vendors about building the truck, and we've all seen the number. The bottom line was we're looking to spend no more than $200,000 from the truck safety or truck fund. The estimate we had ballparked with a few was $250 or more for that truck to be built through full-on manufacturer. So what we're trying to do is keep as much money in that fund as possible. So as we continue to move forward with the list itself, that we don't keep stumbling on not having enough money. It's going to be a problem, fortunately, as we go on, but one we're trying to come up with solutions to.
Which is in your fund right now?
When I was just checking as of earlier this month, it's $374,000. There's a parcel of that. I didn't get an answer yet today, but I'm assuming that constable's numbers are not removed from that when I've seen that. So the constable puts in about $3,000 a year into that same fund. Remember when he purchased that Explorer, Paul?
2015 maybe.
I say I think we're going in 10 years. So in essence, the constable has $30,000 worth of that fund money. So we're at $344,000. That is fire department truck fund money.
So what kind of truck would this be?
So we're looking to at Ford chassis because the last purchase truck we have is a Ford chassis. Trying to keep the trucks similar enough that when you're driving one to the other, you're getting the same vehicle. It's not driving a Ram one day, a Ford one day, a Chevy one day. It's consistent enough when you're driving those two trucks. That is more memory or mental memory for you when you jump in the truck. This is where this button is versus where is that button again type thing. We'd be going with the gas truck because we want to stay away from emission stuff with the diesel motor. And of course, the diesel motor is a lot more money right off the bat than what the gas motor would be. This would be, I said, this would be, I didn't leave any history on, this would be replacing the 1992 Ford that we currently run in that position.
Yes, you're basically saving 75-ish grand by kind
Between
of
eight
GC and your
12,
own job.
between 8 and 12,
Yeah.
and we're saving almost an entire year in production.
Would you be able to sell the 1992 once you get a new truck?
For sure. It's the same as,
Yeah.
the town highways.
Yeah.
There's many people with standing of,
Yeah.
you're not getting rid of that without me saying my
Oh,
two
yeah.
cents on it. So,
The highway department might you be able to use it if it's still decent truck in 2 years.
10 years newer than their
Yeah.
84 truck.
Anything will help.
So Aaron, have you tried this method before? To piece a truck, a new truck together?
or before my time, many years ago, the guys would actually build the trucks fully themselves.
Right,
Point. We're not interested in that first off, for we don't have the time
right.
when we're running 21 calls a month and all that other stuff.
Does take time.
For us, it would just be, it's adding a little more workload for us to have it all planned out, so we know the vendors know the truck's coming, so we're not,
Mm-hmm.
the same as what the manufacturers would be a year of building the truck, because it takes that long for everybody to get their hands on it and get their project done.
And it's all vendors and garages you've used before. So it's not like you're like having a buddy do some.
No,
do some
no.
work. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's all insured.
So how
Yeah.
many different stops or shops would it be? 2, 3,
I think we're at 4.
4 shops?
Yeah. So truck body,
Right, the
truck
frame,
body, and then we'd go to
boxes.
the boxes. Boxes would end up being tied in with the skid unit more than likely, and then wiring. So, and wiring the whole complete truck, and then graphics stuff. So I mean, you're talking 5, I think, at that point now, once the chassis is here.
Mhm.
So unfortunately, we had our eye on a leftover 2024.
Right.
That of course disappeared right as I was asking Paul to be on the agenda tonight. So
Mhm.
that one was a little bit of savings compared to the estimate I have provided there, but of course, as soon as you find something nice, it
Right.
got fast. So,
Maybe it's come again, it's budget season, maybe some people out there might get a new one. Yeah, throw that discount, but. Good.
So you're looking for a yes or no tonight?
Maybe good for
Kelly,
me
you
tonight.
need more information if you don't feel comfortable. Would be a not to exceed, so that's not a number. It's
Right.
a not to exceed. We're not looking to,
Right.
we're gonna catch you at 199, no, 999.
Is that what you, like, when you guys drafted up this kind of, 10, 20-year plan, is this what you figured would be the brush truck, or you?
It would be the truck, the money that's needed to pay for it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, things
We're
got weird, huh?
real weird.
Yeah.
That's why
Is it gonna put
First
you in a weird
cash-
spot for the next,
Mhm.
for
We're
the next
already-
round?
we're already in a way bad spot for
Okay.
the next. The next one is that big, new pumper truck.
Yeah,
And we're behind that so far.
Yeah.
This truck will not change the balance of that, unfortunately.
okay.
Because we had talked about that with last year, if we were gonna push on meeting the emissions of 2027, we would figure out a way around it, but right now, we're too late for that. So
But you guys, like, this is still what you think's the best order of operations and which truck you need?
For money, I
Okay.
mean, we're doing more work,
Mhm.
but, we're trying to capitalize on a leftover
Yeah.
chassis. Because the 26s are coming in at like 90 grand.
Yeah, oh, trucks are
So,
crazy.
yeah, so we're trying very hard. I mean, we're gonna travel to get the chassis, but
Right. So we need a,
So the board have any questions for Aaron or Ange about this?
I guess just for me, like, where does that leave us for the next, like, we have it in the budget now, but we just are gonna have tough conversations for the next go.
next budget time, they can get another 110,000.
Yeah,
we're at 130 weights this year to drop before July 1. So that would be, right now, there's 130 that we wait till the end of the year before the town cuts the check back into the funds. So 130 of what we spend comes back this fiscal year yet.
Mm.
And then July 1 starts what we budget in the next couple weeks here for next year. So
Well, we haven't promised anything budget wise, we haven't done the budget process, right? Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, you had a plan, several years ago
Right.
that was never fully implemented.
We have a question from the public.
I guess my big thing is just making sure it's not one place you can say, look, this broke down and this broke down, it's gonna be fixed. I guess that was my only big concern that.
Nothing that I
nothing-
could see it being like,
Nothing like
now I have to have two different people take care of
Right.
something. I don't see that being an issue at all.
That could be pricey, I would think, with a new truck and.
Yeah.
There was somebody from.
What do you
public-
think the timeline would be when you got started to when the truck was finished?
We're hoping that we can get everybody lined up once we have a chassis to have it done by springtime. So we're hoping for, unfortunately, we are hoping for snow because we have beaten most of the summer off so far without being in the woods for more than a week straight.
That'd be quicker than a custom vendor
I
bid,
got- I
right?
got pictures.
Yes,
Yeah.
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 the last time we heard on, not trying to change subject, but the big truck, the current contract days on that is 800 and something is
Take forever.
2 years for them to build us that big one. So little ones are still a year plus now at this point.
So you're looking for us to give you the go ahead for the fund?
Spend no more than
But the
200,000.
cap, yeah.
No more than 200,000 to complete this project.
What do you think? Questions?
I just. Well, firefighting, so if they say they need it,
Yeah.
they need it.
Was they needed somebody.
So I see it.
They do need somebody young to join the fire department.
It's don't
Not-
be young, either. Everybody has different assets that we will
For kids.
gladly take.
I'd like to make a motion to accept his projection of building, of piecing together this new truck.
Very second?
I'll second that one.
All in
Not
favor?
gonna exceed 200,000.
Not-
That's what I say to it.
Just as it says, that this is all, but
And Jay, you second that?
I second that.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for your thorough reports as always.
Thank you.
And just,
Appreciate it.
no,
Now there's another thing. You waited after we said, okay.
We forgot.
I see.
last night, one of our trucks was involved in an incident on 22A. Responded to Fairhaven for a reported building fire while we were en route. Came upon a brown bale in the middle of the road and struck it. Truck was able to proceed. Crew is all okay. The truck is damaged. We have an insurance claim going in right now. We work with vendors to try and get that truck back in service as quickly as possible. With that, we do still have the other old engine that nobody still has made an offer on to us. We're working to put that back into shape to take that other jobs or that other truck's position up until that truck is fully repaired and deemed ready to go back.
How long do you think that? I mean, I know certain places are backlogged till spring to do.
I'm hopeful that we're 2 months.
is it damaged
So-
structural or cosmetic?
Appears to be, so it's the Freightliner that has the extended front bumper on it.
Yeah.
So everything is built off the frame, the front of the frame of the truck,
Right.
forward off of it. There might be some bends in that front structural on the extended portion, which is all bolt on off of the truck.
Mhm.
The bumper is messed up as well as cover material between that bumper and that frame stuff. Some of the piping has been moved a little bit, but we're not sure if that's structural or if that's part of the bumper pushing up in a way that it's moved some of that piping for us. So on the front of that truck, there's a discharge line and an intake line. Both of which need to be thoroughly checked out to make sure that we haven't done any damage to them, because those are both pretty important pieces for that truck. So,
Mhm.
And you've already contacted insurance.
yes, we have.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, keep us
Did
posted.
you find out who Hay Bailey you hit?
It will be in the New York State Police's report. The person did make a phone call to the firehouse and sounded like they were pretty all apologetic and
That's good.
in tears that it had happened. So thankfully for me and or for the crew,
No one was hurt, so.
it was us in a big truck and not somebody else.
Yeah.
Would have been worse. So just figured I'd give you all the heads up. So
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks for your report. Thanks, Ange, for coming too. Appreciate it.
You waiting for me?
Yeah, wait for you.
So the next item on the agenda is the ATV ordinance, and I don't quite know if I wasn't given real good direction on where we're going with that. I did speak with I did have our attorney review it, and he said it looked fine to him. So I have it on here, and I don't know what the plan is, but
Does everyone like read it over and everything? I remember last time it was
Yeah.
kinda
That's not gonna be.
the most recent.
I do know that we have spent a lot of time on it. I do know that we've had quite a few meetings and checked with the state. I know Sarah has been gracious of getting some information about it from other locations as well as a few of us. You know, and I gave you a packet to look over. You know, there were a couple conversations, Mary Sue Reed mentioned last time about the state inspection, so that was checked that there's one also about the speed limit enforcement, which I know Jesse will talk about. And I know, I think the other one was something, that turns on Route 140. And as far as signage, I know Jesse met, I think Sarah did too, met with Joel about signage that would need to be put up. I don't know if anybody has any other questions that.
I got some email questions that I found some answers to from here too. There was one discrepancy. I think it was the because there's been a bunch of different updates of the ordinance. So the most recent one I looked over, because there was a discrepancy where there's some like links if you Google it to the weight limit and whatnot being 1,700 dry load or less. But those are, from what I gathered, those are all older documents, and I think just as rigs gotten bigger and stronger and whatnot, the new state dry load is 2,500, like as across the board.
I just looked at the 2025 Vermont ATV manual today,
Yeah,
and it says 1,700.
the state, at least from my Google search from the state website, I can pull. I can.
I
send you
know,
too.
there were a lot of conflicting.
Yeah, there's
between
different
legislative
numbers.
websites and the DMV websites.
The answer I got to that was the smaller number was older, and some people still used it. And now, as they're updating things, 2,500 is just the new rule of thumb. Is how I read it.
I was gonna say, the other thing was on the, we had a concern about the, speed. And it does say they follow the speed limit of the road, but most of them are enforced that shouldn't go past 25 miles an hour unless, the select board of the town says they could go within 140 or other places.
I do have one question, starters. Who is gonna pay for all these signs? Each road? Is it like 60 signs?
60 cents, I don't think
Yeah.
it's 60 cents, so,
I
Yeah.
recall.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think we have to talk about it, because I don't know how many, we did talk about that at one meeting when Jesse talking about when the group gets together for the, inspection and over for the signage that they're gonna use for it.
Sign is
We
right.
talked about, yeah.
They have to be,
Together.
they have to be waterproof. Probably metal. Posted, I mean, you know, that's why.
On the vehicle.
So who is going to pay for all those
Talking about the signs on the vehicles or the signs on the road?
on the road?
That was a
Yeah.
conversation that we had with the group, so they were talking about.
Have you come to a conclusion about it?
Do you want to talk about that with the group, Jesse, about, further-
That's no problem going and collecting, doing fundraising. Also, sure, there's gotta be some sort of grants out there that we can apply for to try to get assistance for the signs. I estimate, you say 60 signs, actually it'd be double because you need one on the beginning of each end. So you're talking 120 signs, reflective.
Yeah,
Doesn't have to be necessarily metal, but it has to be something of quality and durability that's gonna last
right.
numerous years. There's vendors out there. I could work with Joel, find out who he's currently using for signs. You know, the more you buy, bigger the number, the cheaper the signs get. So being prepared to have to replace one because people are out there and they're stealing them, which we know is gonna happen. So having extras on hand also, you know, speed limit signs, if the board says that roads are 25 miles an hour max, and we don't follow the posted speed limit, the only thing I say with posted speed limit is if you're going 25 miles an hour on a section of 140, that's 40, and somebody comes around the corner and you're going 25 miles an hour, are you impeding traffic, and what type of hazards does that cause for the person driving the side by side or ATV and the person in their automobile?
Same thing I said to Cheryl when we had this conversation the other day, actually. I personally, I think it's riskier to have two different conflicting speeds if the vehicle is capable of doing the posted speed limit for automobiles.
Fastest road would be 140, and that's the 40-mile-an-hour zone. Everything else would fall.
And they go like 65.
We've already had Corporal Cram there because another one on 140. About cars speeding, not ATV, but car speeding on that road, so.
Maybe clear just to put on the ordinance, just use if the road allows it, go the speed limit, like not have go 25 unless there's traffic, right? Is that like?
Well, if the speed limit is 15, you go 15. If it's
Yeah,
go 20.
go the posted speed limit on the allowed roads once we make a list. And then another question I got was like, should we have an option where the signs are like at Joel's discretion? Some sort of like additional signage, like temporary no ATV use, like say
For mud season.
say
Yeah.
blah 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 Hollow Road is just torn up. Joel's like, I'm trying to regrade this road. I don't want 20 ATVs on it. Like, should we have like a red sign that's like mud season, you know?
I think it should be posted.
Yeah.
Construction Route 4, and they take the sign and they hang it over the speed limit sign and they reduce it.
Yeah, like just a little additional, like for now, road work, you know.
I would hope your group would have something like Slate Valley Trails. You know, when the trails are closed, they put out a thing that says mud season trails are closed for a week and they post it. So that would be something out to your group.
I have a Facebook page for the Poultney Dirt Devils already.
Yeah.
There are some members that are already joined. So that'll be a huge tool. I don't have a problem making a website that we can, put updates on. The website these days is not very expensive to publish, and
I think we could go that route. We could do something like that and then put it out on BT Alert and inform everybody that's gonna be part of this program that it is your duty to pay attention to one of these two places to find
just like
out
snowmobile trails.
what the road is.
It's your responsibility.
It's not anybody else's, not drive it and, oh, I didn't know.
Well, there are times on Hampshire Hollow, because I know that it's a pickup only, like the bus would not come to my house because it hasn't happened in the recent years because the roads are much better. But it is like, it's mud season, so there's only pickup on the main road. I mean, I obviously have to get home at night, but there's a lot of big trucks and stuff that do go on our road when it's muddy, like Amazon and those trucks, and it does. So that is something that Joel said he would work with as well.
Can I just make a point though? Like, so I understand like the views of the side by sides and ATVs on the roads and stuff, but that rig weighs less than a two-wheel drive car does. So what if a person can't get out because the road's muddy? Can they still use the side by side to get off that muddy road? You know, because it's easier for them to get out. Would that be kind of like a stipulation type thing?
I actually asked about that stipulation. Because I really can't foresee what we may encounter, Corey.
Yeah.
And I think we should reserve the right for either the highway department or emergency services to deem a road, not passable for whatever reason may it be, with no intention to do it for, if we're in a state of emergency, whether it's a local or actual Vermont state of emergency, I think anything goes if that's the only way you can get to and from your house.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a reasonable person would say,
Down the street yelling at them like, oh, you're not.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be different if you saw a group ride going down the road when the road is, I don't know, red flagged or whatever we want to call it, but that adds to that point, I'd asked during the last Rutland County Transportation Advisory Committee meeting if Benson or any of the other towns that were present for that meeting found that allowing the ATV use on the gravel roads caused any extra or considerable damage or adverse effect of the road compared to just regular vehicular traffic. And they did not find, I know that was a question by someone at some point during this process, but they don't see any adverse effects from gravel roads or additional maintenance or whatever.
One more question, I think.
Do you have a clean copy of the ordinance you're proposing? Any copies of them?
Yeah, there's so many cross outs.
Yeah, I know. We do have one that's printed out. We sent it to I told Mary Sue I'd give it to her, but you were on the email thread, so I didn't give it to you because you were on the email thread. You got a hold of Sarah. Got a hold of Sarah and Sarah.
Paul gave me a copy.
But I
Okay,
think
know,
the
but you were on
copy I
the
gave
thread
you,
for me.
didn't you say the copy I had was not the copy, the most recent copy?
It was the correct copy.
The one I gave Mary Sue Reed, I think.
Does that have Hampshire Holler on it? I don't know what one she gave her, but you.
Most recent, I believe, is the
Yeah.
1021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any copies?
I think the only question on that one, Mary Sue, that you had was Pomeroy Place. Well, not the only
Right.
question. but-
Okay.
So that was a road that is now designated as a trail.
Yeah.
So if it's not maintained by us, like, it's not maintained at all. So I think her question was like, should we just take that off the list? So like, cause it's like, there's no way that.
That's why I said, we did talk about that with Jesse because it connects to Pond Hill and they own it. It's not that we own the road. So it's gonna be maintained as a trail.
Right, if it's not a road maintained by the town, it should be removed. If it's, the property is owned by the town,
No,
just not maintained anymore,
no.
Pomeroy's own the land.
Yes.
Therefore, it's not anything Poultney has control over, so
Yeah.
take it off.
So we should just.
It would be one of those things you have to ask landowner's permission.
Correct.
But it's a trail, it's still a public trail.
It's a trail, yeah.
It's still.
It is
a trail. The town.
It's a legal trail, the same as up at Kennedy Landing over to Birdseye.
Maintain it or not.
There's not, no, it's like a class 5 or, I mean, it's beyond the lot where the town has.
It's like-
You have to get ATV on it.
So.
I'll leave it up to the board for discretion. If the town has no involvement with it, then it's not really a town road.
I don't know where that is. to be honest.
Turns into a gray area.
I would say just-
It's up
It doesn't
Watkins
go
Hill.
anywhere.
Yeah, no, it just goes into
Is there any qualms of just removing it if we don't?
No.
Like, cause unless it's like a key trailhead to Castleton Trails or something,
No, not at this time.
let's just
We
remove
can send
it.
back to your.
It's like a dead end class 4 up by Watkins Hill or something, just take it off.
That walking still.
Okay.
Goes into a big field that kind of.
So are there any copies of the clean ordinance? I mean, we have a copy or I kind of like to see a copy if you have a copy.
Yeah,
You could put it on the website.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
let's
think-
put it on the website.
we could just put on.
There's been so many copies, I don't know which one I'm supposed to distribute to people, honestly.
Yeah,
Send it, the one that you have, Sarah, and I'll see if I can get it one printed out for.
Yeah, the last one that I worked on was the 1020 version. I don't know what version has been sent to the town's attorney to review or if the town's attorney made any changes.
I did not.
But that's the one we sent, last one that you sent.
It's 1020.
yeah.
Okay.
Sent
Was that one
yeah.
also, Mary Sue, the discrepancy of age is not on the 1020, the latest version, because it diverts, it's state law. Pretty much.
This is, I have the 1020 draft.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's what Paul gave me, but section 4A. Maybe it's 3, I'm sorry. It says 16 years of age or older with valid driver's license, but sections of the Vermont law state that it's 18 years old unless the driver passes a safety education course. And there's also something in VASA that says, and again, you might be able to clarify this. If you're under the age of 18, you are under the age of 16, you need an 18-year-old to help you cross a road like Route 140.
We wouldn't even be discussing anybody under the age of 16. They wouldn't be able to drive, period.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, because that's off-road ages. Okay.
16.
Hmm.
And you can't drive by
So
yourself.
again, but the legislative website said 18. So I don't know.
Okay.
There's just discrepancies all over the place.
Mhm.
But Cheryl, did you say something about there is inspections?
There is none.
There's no state inspections. I know you asked about that and I said there is no state inspection, but we did talk about putting a sticker on those that come over,
They're club members.
the club members that come over, so they know they have followed the rule, they've showed their license, they've gotten their. So that way, if one goes by your house and you see
Insurance.
the dirt devil on it, you know that they have shown their license, that's marked.
So do you follow VASA rules there or how do you do
So
this?
we are VASA eligible, so we could if eventually, if we wanted to be part of their trail system,
Right.
right now, there's no connector to the Bassett Trails. So it'd be maintained by local club and participants. But it is eligible if we wanted to get in with Bassett, we would be able to get in there.
And that's good for people who join the club and have that sticker, but again, what are you going to do when there's people out there that are not going to?
Call the police.
I think there's a lot of hypothetical enforcement potential issues, and it's not unfair for you to ask, but it's like those are things that it's all speculation until
Well,
we try.
I
understand trying to nip stuff in the bud.
Yeah, well, I think you need to go into this with your eyes open, so
Definitely.
you don't have these unpleasant surprises. And, you know, my other point again is Poultney's failed at addressing car and truck speeding issues for years. And, you know, ATVs are smaller, they're much more difficult to identify than cars and trucks. And the plates, I've seen the plates, they're like motorcycle plates. They're really too small to be seen on a moving vehicle. So enforcement, it really needs to be addressed here too. Is what will the town be doing if issues occur?
Well, significant issues are, again, it's police, like, and not that that'd be a good thing to just, you know, up our number of police calls, but how it's all structured is like to be revisited. And I think, like, Jesse's made it clear that, like, yeah, let's rehash this as needed. And so I think it seems like everyone's willing, like, hey, if this turns into, it's just speculation, but like, if it turned bad, we'll rehash it, because that's the way it's, you know, structured to be, you know, revisited. Not that we're like, you know, on the club's neck, like, if you mess up, we're yanking it, but we're able to, at any moment, like, if we have a month where there's 5 bad incidents, it doesn't have to be at one, like, we can be like, whoa, you know, agenda, you know, as needed.
And we don't even have, when we set the speed limits, we set a lot of things, inspection with cars, and we have no control over the people that don't. We have trucks that speed through. We don't have any control over there. So I feel like we're telling them they can't because we don't have control over them. We have as much control as we possibly can, and we try to do it. We try to get the police there. We try to have control of the cars that speed, that miss the stop sign, those type of things. We try to, but we don't. On 140, we have a speed limit there, a stop sign. If they don't stop, they don't always get caught. You know, so it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right, but I'm just saying we do have those things, and we try to do it as best we can. I feel like
You know, there are other ordinances in town that we have that don't get enforced. I mean, I see kids riding around on motorbikes, on the streets, on the sidewalks, especially right over here on Furnace Street, up on Beaman Street. I almost hit a kid one day. She came off the sidewalk on Beaman Street. She did not even look on a motorbike. Must have been 9 years old, you know, so, and there's kind of there's a chronic issue with that. We have ordinances against parking all over the front lawns, all over in the village.
Well, let's stick to ATVs right now. This is what we're talking
I'm just pointing out
I
that
know.
we have ordinances that aren't being enforced. So I think the enforcement issue is valid. I think it's absolutely valid and on more than one level.
I think ATVs is like, it's something because it's you know, a motor vehicle on a road. It's much more like legitimate, like police call, than like, you know, 8-year-olds who it's just it's a weird gray area to enforce like what other kids' children are doing, because it's like, but I hear it. Like, I if I was a way I could enforce it, I would, you know, rather than the old school way or whatever you want to call it. So and I don't want to make light of it. I'm just saying, like, with ATVs though, it's really like, it's legitimately a motor vehicle, like, compared to, but I hear you, like, if it's frustrating that there's other things that.
And I think we do try to address it if people come to us, like the parking lot and some of the other zoning issues. We try to address it when we hear about it. We don't always hear about it. I mean, I stopped a group of kids down by Granville Street because they were doing exactly what you said. And I knew them from rec, and I stopped them all. They didn't have helmets and they were riding like down the street. So we don't know about all of them. And if they get brought to us, to our attention, I mean, we're not babysitting those kids, so we don't know if they're going down there. If people brings it to our attention, so that's another thing.
Yeah, the kid thing is hard because it's what do you find their parents' money for, like, how do you, I don't, you know, like.
I think it's since it's in the road, I'm sure they'll be all.
No, it's unfortunate. But anyway, it's not ATV related.
Yeah, it's not related. Another.
So this conversation, or
Yeah.
we're talking about back roads only. Should we go back there?
I think we've cleared edits that we all agree on, like just get rid of Pomeroy Place, so there's no
Yeah.
confusion.
We added Hampshire Hollow Road.
Do you all agree though? I hear you keep saying that, but
Right.
I don't hear,
Well, I wasn't gonna jump ahead. I just meant Pomeroy Place is something we all agreed on, not everything.
I would be in favor of back road. I think it's a grave mistake to let them on the paper.
How do they get to back roads? That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
And where do they leave their trailer?
On the side of the road. Or private property.
Up to the board, thoughts?
That's how we started this conversation 2 months ago.
I think we've narrowed it down to like again, in my opinion, we've narrowed it down to reasonable paved roads that, like, you know, that's just my opinion. Because there is just like, if we isolate little pockets of dirt roads, it really just opens up the people that live on those dirt roads to just kind of take a joy lap and go home. You know, the whole point of it is like looking forward to hopefully connect to what Castleton has going on, and then hopefully connect to that. And it's like if we only do little pockets of dirt road
We
neighborhoods.
have, how many miles of dirt roads? 42?
It's 50 something, Mark. I'm sorry. I don't have
50 miles of
the
back road. That's
Right.
not a road.
Mhm.
50. So 50.
Board, questions?
That's
Comments, thoughts?
Any other?
But with path, Jesse, what's your next step? Say it fast.
If it was to pass, the next step would be signage and building a clear system of use. Membership, policing, getting everything set up. This is not an overnight launch. We're still looking at, 6 months before we can even get out there, looking at probably springtime. Because every single road needs to be signed before we go out. I'll have to work with local members of the community. I'll need to work with the highway department. This is not something that just happens, and I'll make sure that people know. I'll post it on the lovely social media sites. Yes, ordinance is passed, but stay off the roads until everything is set up in place. You'll be notified. Everybody will be excited. Most people that are into this will be excited.
And if we pass tonight, it would still be 60 days, or right until like.
I still have to get posted by.
There'd be a chance for people to,
Make it
rebuttal a petition against it, so.
We would have to put in the motion, the start date of sometime in the spring, we get to pick a date for the.
We're just effective once the 60-day rebuttal period's over.
60 days, like February or something.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, then organically, it'd be a slow rollout, right? We wouldn't have 200 people on the roads. It's 10 degrees.
So back to the signs. Who's going to pay for all these signs? 120. Permanent.
You said
I
fund.
think they try to crowdfund it, fundraise it
Right.
initially, and then obviously.
So they would be responsible.
It wouldn't be on the towns, yeah. It wouldn't
Right.
No.
help them as much
I'm
as
sure
we
they
can. but-
GoFundMe or whatever within the group. I know we have some signage connections, golf course, and I know some of those guys are in your community, so I'm sure that, like, they make T markers and metal
Right.
stuff, so I'm sure they can
Okay.
find it.
First thing, play dog trails, maybe we'll get some ideas from them too.
Yeah.
Slate Valley. They're good
it's
resources.
gonna have to be MUTCD compliant when they go.
For ATV, UTV, I can't give you an answer on that because I truly don't know. That's out of my knowledge as of right now. I'll have to look that up. I would assume so if it's a legal. I mean, we're talking about a legal
Right.
road sign, so I mean,
Reflective.
I would say it would have to be within the community TCD, but
Are you willing to work with Jesse at least to?
yeah, absolutely.
What do you think, sir?
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know that MUTCD would necessarily govern this. because the blazes, that they're talking about are smaller, and I think you wouldn't want like a large sign that on every single road, because that'd be a lot. But I think it's something, I think that's an area that we could work with them to figure that out. And other communities that I've been in that have these types of uses on the roadways typically have blazes, which are, you know, like a small triangle or circle or something at the end of the road. But that is an area that we could support, if the select board wishes to, you know, to weave that into a wayfinding plan, which the town is heading towards, hopefully in the spring, a comprehensive wayfinding plan, a project to begin a project or find a grant to support that. And it's something that we've done certainly for Slate Valley Trails to support their signage.
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, to preface it, like, with the understanding that we can revisit it, I would, I'd make a motion to, as it sits, for, and able to be revisited, pass the ATV ordinance with the editing of removing the Pomeroy Place, and what else was there?
I think the addition of the
Hampshire Hollow.
Michelle, I think that was already added on there. And the other one was the speed limit.
Oh, and to follow the speed limit.
I think the verbiage on there says obey to most of the.
Yeah,
We would need a clean copy, because this thing I can't,
yeah, okay.
it's just got crossed out, so it didn't come with.
Well, we've been working on it and meeting and crossing and adding and whatever, so we'll make sure.
Yeah, I think it would be,
And we'll put it on the website. It'll be put up.
it would be spring when we noticed anything, in my opinion, and we'd have 60 days for it to be posted. I'd make that motion.
Although it wasn't officially.
I'll second that motion.
Wasn't on the last list.
So it would be prudent to have a clean copy to review so that everybody's on the same page for exactly what you're.
The copy.
Yeah, we'll post it on the website. I mean, if it's still, we only have 2 seconds, or,
Copy is
The copy that the board has and that the attorney has is a track changes copy. It is the same exact copy. You just need to turn off track changes so that you don't see that. So it's not a different ordinance. It's the same version.
and we would post it.
Working or we will post it. It was just working ordinance, so.
And it could be, rebuttal, what's the word? There's 60 days until it truly goes into effect. So if anybody, you know, wanted to petition against it or so, this would just, but anyway, Valerie seconded the motion.
Want any kind of official start date in there?
I think
What do you-
I'll come back and let us know when it's officially gone through with 60 days, and then we can make this official start. You know what I mean? Once.
So that would be
The
determined.
official date would be, unless otherwise stated, it would be 60 days from,
It would be, yeah, January 20th. Okay, 30 days would be happening somewhere.
I'm fine. I mean, Jesse, do you see any problem with just setting like a spring date? Like, so it's not random 60 days from when
Do you want to do a March 1st?
it gives us more time to prepare signage and stuff, so everybody. Okay, I would add that, I'd make a motion to have a March 1st start to the ATV ordinance with the corrections of Pomeroy Place and the Hampshire Hollow Road. And following speed limits, on the approved roads to have a March 1st start date. And in the meantime, Jesse's gonna,
Work on
look into signage. And we have until March to hash out further details, but.
You don't really have until March to hash out further details of the ordinance part of it.
We couldn't adjust anything.
You only have 6 days.
No,
No, because the ordinance can't be enforced until you have signage. So you have to balance that somehow.
Yeah.
Still will be meeting with Jesse start.
Well, that's what my understanding is,
Yeah.
like, we could revisit the ordinance,
The whole process would start over in 60 days.
Mhm.
Well, if you're not looking till spring, why don't you get a clean copy so everybody can see exactly as the ordinance is laid out?
So I
Bring it
think-
to your next meeting for final approval. If you're not looking until March, you said 6 months or so before you can get your,
Well, I want to get everything going to meet all these criteria.
Yeah, I think Jesse's saying he's got a lot of work to do and he wants proof of concept before he begins his like.
but if you guys
Fun.
have a readable copy, I think, as a member of the public, I've seen
Gotcha.
one that had a bunch of strikeouts. I'd love to see a readable copy so that, you know, if there's other questions.
So we're
that
going to turn
come
off
up, they can
tracking,
come
give us a readable copy at the town office tomorrow.
Easy to read
So Sarah's gonna turn off track, we'll make a readable copy and they'll be at the office tomorrow.
after you pass it.
It's up to the board. I have a motion on the floor. Have a second it. You second it, Val?
Yes.
Dragging it on, dragging it on.
Favor?
That's, I just, yeah.
It makes more sense.
Well, if you don't have, I mean, technically, if you don't have something to sign right now, I mean,
Seconding what?
Turn off tracking and make some copies.
What are you, the motion's on the floor, so what are you saying?
I'm just saying, you really should have something to sign, like I said at the last meeting. When Jay was ready to make a motion, I said, what are you adopting if you don't even have it here to sign it?
Mm-hmm.
8 and 2 weeks.
So where are we at? I mean, we can run, print it out. I just, to me, 2 weeks, it won't make a difference to me. And I know the details. I know people are concerned and I'm not trying to like just strong arm it through. I'm just saying.
Sarah, can you print one up from there?
Right now.
Yeah.
I just think it's worth a try, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
I just think it makes sense and it can be posted
I hear you.
online for the public. On
I can also
the
post
website
it.
of the paper or whatever.
I did put it on Facebook too. Go ahead. Yeah.
It wasn't.
Any other questions?
I
agree, Joe, that it should be set in stone. Period. Everything should be in there before it becomes a formal ordinance, which could be done in 2 weeks. Push out the March date, weeks. That's when everything falls from the winter. The roads are not gonna be, you know, maybe it should be April 1st when the roads have dried out a little bit. You know, but if 2 weeks is not gonna make a difference, but the ordinance will have everything in it the way it should. Because these people have been doing this for a long time, trying to get this started. And roadblock after roadblock.
And it's a legal document. You want it clean.
It
You
is.
want it right.
Yeah, I guess it was my
Your names are
understanding.
on it.
It was all, other than the Pomeroy place, it was all reviewed and read.
That's fine, everybody folder.
If you take tracking off, it is clean. The only thing you have to do is take tracking off and remove Pomeroy. It's there. Hampshire Hollow.
Hampshire Hollow is on it.
Hampshire Hollow was already changed.
Pomeroy Place would need to be removed. I just heard a March 1 start date for,
Joel, do you see
and then speed limit.
any difference between March 1 and April 1 as far as what you guys?
10 degrees.
If the other towns then foresee a problem, I don't know until we try. Give it a shot.
Man, our roads are a lot better now.
Absolutely.
Want me to send it to you to print? I can't print, Cheryl. I'm
So I
sorry.
know he sent to Paul.
Did you revise it?
No, I can't revise it on the fly. You're asking for a March 1 start date and then speed limits. I can't revise.
You want
it on the
to-
fly. You can, if you want to make a motion regarding the changes, then that's your prerogative, but I can't revise it right here.
Well, we made a motion for the changes. Do you want to?
To me, the 2 weeks is not, and again, I don't speak for anybody else, the 2 weeks and the changes, once we make the changes in the motion, they will be made to the document, right? So it's really, It's just the formality of editing the document before, but she's doing it in real time.
Is not.
Or, I mean,
We're printing the draft that's been reviewed by the attorney.
but I understand that, like, you know, wanting to have a legal document be perfectly edited and not.
So why can't you just table the matter until your next meeting on the 24th?
Does everyone agree that we should do that table it to the 24th at the firehouse?
Hey, with it, I mean, I was just trying, yeah.
A crazy meeting. I don't think we should do it on the 24th. That's got a whole different agenda.
The budget?
We're gonna have, well, I'm gonna talk to you guys about that, but my plan is to have a regular meeting on the 24th. I'll be brief. And the information meeting on the bond.
Up to the board. What does the board think?
Does it matter anything legally if we were here to sign it? We have to sign it tonight, some kind of documents legally.
Didn't do this.
Hey, Gary.
Hello. I knew I shouldn't have got here. Well, I've been listening, don't shoot me, but I think it's smart. I don't think you can adopt it and then make changes later. I mean, you need to adopt an ordinance. I think the prudent thing to do with the timeline you're talking, it's a minimum of 60 days. You're talking much later than that. I think you get a clean document, make a motion to make the changes you want tonight on those 2 roads and whatever else, and then have whoever does that get a clean document out to the board before the next meeting. And then I would recommend voting on it. It sounds like you've debated it enough. It sounds like if you had a clean ordinance, you'd be ready to vote pretty quickly at the next meeting. But I think the prudent thing to do is get a clean copy so everyone knows what they're adopting.
Will we have time next meeting, Paul?
I mean, we should be, I mean, my plan is, I was gonna suggest that we meet in a regular meeting at 5:30 because the information meeting is at 6:30.
Everybody make the meeting at 5:30 on the 24th. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So like that down that we'll meet on the 24th at 5:30 for a regular meeting and then we'll go into the bond vote at 6:30 after.
Here.
No, the firehouse. Please make sure all of you stop in and get the right version of it so that everybody's on board. We'll have copies in the office. So we'll do that.
So are you gonna revise your motion just to make the changes?
Yeah, I'll revise the motion to make the necessary changes and have a final document for the next meeting to be voted on.
At 5:30 on the 24th.
The 24th will meeting.
And that also be put up on the website,
The draft
the
ordinance?
draft.
Yeah. So is somebody gonna second his motion? I'll second. Okay.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
You're opposed to voting on it next week? I didn't say pass it. I changed it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. It's all good.
Okay, so what? So the amendment did they get changed?
He made the motion
Yeah.
to make the changes in a circulated clean copy.
And have a physical copy for us to vote on next meeting. That's all the motion.
That'd be fine.
Stop in tomorrow to make sure it's.
Okay, just a note on here, now that we've talked the ATV ordinance to death. The mobile food vendor ordinance and the revised animal control ordinance, both of those 60-day periods have passed. Nothing's been brought to me to say it's not a good idea, so those are now in effect with ordinances. Last time Mark had mentioned the zoning fee sheet and it was sort of tabled for this meeting, so I have it on the agenda again.
I don't know what your feelings are if you looked at it. The started fee schedule right now. I thought maybe could we think about it when we get into budget season, which is we have a meeting scheduled for Thursday. Unless someone wants to know what change. Again, this is not a regular copy? Did you make a different copy
No,
with some changes on it?
no, that's the.
This is Castleton's.
I crossed out the Castleton, I wrote home.
So the mobile home, I don't know. Did everyone have a chance to look at it and want to get feelings at her?
Nothing.
There's a fee schedule for certain acts in the zoning. Application for permits.
We talked about looking it over and see if,
Right.
Yeah, it was just
you're
that
feelings for it.
our fee schedule was from the nineties or something. Is that what you
So
found?
there's no piece.
Or it was non-existent.
Non-
It was just a
It's just not
structure
look
that,
it out for the.
It's a structure, so we can stop some of the bleeding in the office, right?
Is that something that we need a document again to all sign, or is it just something that we say we want to copy those and it goes?
Well, we talked about a mobile home park that we don't have, but I guess we do have that. It's at Lennox Road. That's
Yeah.
considered, even though it's not in use, a mobile home park. That's correct, right?
Yes.
That's
Well,
the only
if Val's saying she hasn't had a chance to thoroughly review it.
place. Okay,
If
so
you table it.
I would table it. That would give us much, I mean, we won't do it for the 24th. We'll put it off for the next meeting. We're not gonna add anything else for the 24th meeting.
Nobody else looked at it?
I looked at it.
oh,
I think everyone needs to look at it.
So you think if it's a piece?
yeah, no, I think if we don't have one, that's a good baseline.
Right, the baseline of the current town.
Yep.
A neighboring town.
Better than
Now,
nothing.
you,
Then look it all through all of it to make sure this.
Do we need one that's actually written up? Say this is the fee
Doesn't say-
schedule, or do we just
That's-
take what we're saying, those are our numbers, we'll plug them into what we already have and updating our.
do we have one?
No,
Well,
No, we don't
this would
have.
be a whole new one, so we'd have to have a.
Let's have a proper
No,
legal document for
it's not
this.
really quite the same, it's not really quite the same thing. It's just, but I just don't think if, you know, there could be some debate, Val might have some issues with the numbers themselves. She might say, I think that's that's out of line,
Zoning involved in this even?
as an example.
Jeff for zoning?
It's the zoning.
So should Jeff give us his information too? Should he be here and give us his feedback on this
I
as well?
give him a copy of it. He says it sounds good. Yeah,
All right, I didn't check with him. I haven't talked to him about it.
So can I just chime in on this one too?
Sorry, Gary.
So the fee schedule for, is for building permits, and so I think it's not unusual for towns to have them. A $35 flat permit for whatever you want to do is not really realistic if you're trying to pay for perhaps a zoning administrator who has to do all this permit stuff. You have a DRB that has to meet. And so that is an example of what Castleton currently uses as a fee structure for their building permits. And if it has to go to the DRB and, you know, the different hoops it has to go through, because the town is absorbing a lot of costs for the person who wants to develop or build, you know, whatever they're doing. And the person who wants to do it should be paying those fees. So that's the whole idea behind the fee schedule. It can help pay for your zoning department, your zoning administrator. And it really isn't cost prohibitive. And I think you will find also, as far as enforcing any zoning and building permits, that people are more likely to follow that structure. Because if there's a penalty,
Yeah.
I mean, if there's no penalty, why bother? Right? So, and that's what, as your assessor, that I am seeing that, and I see it a lot. And it's very helpful, and it's fair. It's a fair way to approach your zoning and building. So that's the idea behind it. Mark asked me to bring a copy of the example from Castleton, because, you know, we had discussed that. I think that's what his proposal was. If you guys want to change the rates or the fees or whatever, I mean, that's good.
Is there a penalty fee on this one?
Yeah, if you start working without a permit, it's a $400 fee.
I don't really that one.
Is this something, because you have the hard copy, right? Is this something we could just, touch on in executive session and let Val read it over and then?
Yeah.
Wait.
It's online.
Or should we just pocket it?
Right. I'm not sure that I have my copy of it.
It has referrals and appeals, but I don't know, where's it saying that there's a penalty? And if you don't pay your mobile home park $100 per home lot, is there a penalty for that?
I know if Fairhaven has a similar fee schedule to Kensington.
Then other things that get money from people.
No, construction prior to permit application submittal will be charged an additional administrative fee of $200.
What page is that?
First page. Like, second page. The fee schedule on the first page,
I see fees on the top, application, referrals and appeals.
go down to the note. Construction prior, right.
To the, for
Yeah.
additional administrative fee. So if they start it ahead of time, they pay a penalty, but
Right.
okay, I thought that a penalty for anything they didn't pay. The mobile home for what?
So did we not table this?
Yes, we tabled it.
Okay. I have a note on here about the July 4th fireworks after our last meeting. I did speak with the company that does our fireworks. And that company has actually merged with a much larger company. And, I did secure July 4th as a date for the fireworks. Last year, the base amount of the fireworks cost $13,000. This year, for the same display, the base amount is $20,000. So, you know, you can always spend more, and so I asked I told the company I would discuss it with this board tonight and, you know, get back to them tomorrow on what, if we're going with it, if we're going with the base amount, if you're going with something more. We budget $11,000 a year for the fireworks. But that money also pays, there's some entertainers that we pay out of that money. We do supplement, with a grant that we apply for and, usually, receive. I think we've always received it, to my knowledge. But you know, that you're relying that you're gonna receive that grant again. So first of all, I'd like to know if you want me to tell the company, yes, we want the display on July 4th, and I want you to tell me how much you want me to spend on these fireworks.
I don't think we can go over $20,000. I think it was fine last summer. I don't think we need to go bigger or better, but I mean, what are your thoughts?
Do we charge anything to get into the school field?
We don't, we ask people to make a donation, but it's not required.
A lot of people don't make a donation. That's what we talked about last time. Should we do $5 a car or something like that, like a lot of places do?
We did that 1 year, right? Long time ago, charge.
It's a
Not since I've been here.
donation. Yeah, even when Joe said we did.
It's me and sometimes
people-
other people standing at the entrance of the parking lot.
Yeah,
Right.
most people are pretty good about some, but people don't. They say, oh, I didn't know I
Yeah,
was
that's
paying
for you.
no money. I think if the board decides that we are gonna have this, which I think is wonderful, I think we have to figure out how we're gonna support the 4th of July committee because it can't be done on 2 or 3 people. So I think
Right.
that we have to have it down, like who is gonna support and help us out. So I think that it shouldn't be fall on 2 or 3 people, which is
Totally
the
agree.
concern, and it has been for the last few years.
I did speak with the
So-
sheriff's department and I had asked them that I want a deputy on the ground during the fireworks display and I want one in town on patrol. And they indicated that they could do that and they're going to put it on the schedule.
Put it on the schedule.
I emailed Sensor Security to see if that's something that could assist us. I haven't heard back from them yet.
And maybe for like cleanup and for just walking around and being down there could be, whether it's a church, the fireman or someone else, just to help assist with parts of it, like even the chaotic part of the parade being around.
Cause you should know that, Cheryl, Sarah briefly mentioned it, I think at our last meeting. And,
Incident, yeah.
you know, I had said, I didn't hear about this incident and unfortunately, right after the fireworks displays, she had a personal matter. So she described to me what happened and it's exactly the scenario that I'm afraid is gonna happen every year where she got almost into in the middle of a very heated confrontation. Would you clarify that?
Yeah, that's fair.
And I mean, even you, Paul, I mean, we tore around after it's over and you had to take people back to Fairhaven, a couple that were walking inside the road that you volunteered to drive them and their dog.
I took one grandmother and probably an 18-year-old girl that had a baby, an infant, and they're just sitting there. They took the bus here, but didn't have a plan to get home, and it was cold that night. So yes, I drove them to Fairhaven, and on my way to Fairhaven, I came upon a couple that was like on Route 22A in the middle of the night, dark, trying to walk back to Fairhaven. So after I dropped those people off, I went back and picked up those people and brought them to Fairhaven. So, you know,
There's a lot of little things that people don't realize goes into putting the July 4th together from the beginning of it, planning it all with Sarah, running it that day with everything going on between the parade and the vendors down, and then the cleanup the following day.
How many people do you think you need?
I put it into the high school about the same thing with community service for some of the kids to help out with, but this year there was 2 of us cleaning up. I mean, there was nobody there, but Bob Williams had come down early by himself, and then Paul and I from Main Street all the way down to the parking lot, which is really, really gross and terrible. So I don't blame people that don't want to do it, but that the people just throw their trash everywhere and it's a mess. I mean, the garbages were all over everywhere. So I think that's a part, but it's also set up, and Sarah's running down like crazy getting set up. So I think it would be nice if we could get a pool and have a dozen people that are willing to say, I can be there. I know it's a holiday, and I know it's crazy, but a dozen people to help out, rather it's being at the taking donations on the way in, or if it's helping set up things, or if it's helping with cleanup. So I think it's important to do that.
Maybe ask
Sounds like-
organizations in town to help out.
The church used to always do the cleanup with us, and then when they moved it,
We
we
should
have
also
them.
charge for parking.
But it's for Paul, for Sarah, for
I
everyone.
really do. I think we should charge for parking.
So do we have a motion on the floor to let Paul book the 4th for the 4th?
I guess the obvious question,
$20,000?
is there any other company, like, is it worth that?
Well,
It's a pretty, I know it's a pretty niche thing.
Slim pickings.
Yeah, or fast.
I don't know if we can hit 2 fires.
yeah. I mean, we've always worked with this one particular company, and
Yeah.
But they know this is.
you know, the people usually the last 2 or 3 years, they're the primary team that sets up the display had been doing it for a long time, and that guy retired. So now I'm dealing with different crew, but I think it's been consistent. The last couple of years, it's been the same crew. So
Did they give you a reason for the big price jump? Just everything costs.
Everything's covered.
frankly, if you want to know what she said it was the tariffs.
They're probably all Chinese fireworks and stuff.
So do I have a motion to let Paul book it? And no, it's gonna be $20,000. Anybody?
I think you should also maybe discuss fees and stuff.
The parking is. I agree.
Should we
Do we get,
separate motion to form a subcommittee to hash out?
let's do one motion at a time though. So Alan makes the motion to give Paul permission for July 4th, spend the $20,000 by a second. Val will second it. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
I mean, I think we have time to talk about the charging for parking, but I envision that being a problem because sometimes, when it's 2 people, I'm like, I don't even know if there's any parking down there. And I tell people I've been standing here, for 4 hours or whatever it was.
Shuffle cars.
We definitely need
I don't
someone.
even know if there's any parking down there, but good luck trying to find a spot. So I could see people arguing like, well, why am I gonna pay for parking if you can't even tell me if I can get a parking spot?
I think those are some things that we have not a lot of time, but a little bit of time to hash out because it needs to be, if we're gonna police maybe we say we take this many cars and someone helps park them. So Sarah doesn't have altercations like that. And then it's nice to have someone down there when we're coming out. I mean,
Didn't the firemen used to park them?
I remember we're in charge of the
Firemen
Fire.
set them up.
Yeah, but you guys used to park cars too.
I think that.
Years ago,
I think
'cause I remember
that-
that.
yeah.
The mayor needs to do it again.
The Humanities have done it before. There was some church groups that were doing it when I first started, but they're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, they,
Each of the fire departments, see if they want to get more involved.
I could say that they would be, unfortunately, we start July 3rd at 4 o'clock in the evening, prepping trucks, getting the lineup ready,
Right.
printing out up, they are up at the green at 8 o'clock in the morning to be ready for lining up the parade.
Right.
Until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
so why don't we gave Paul permission, we told Paul to book that and for the price, and then we'll have another meeting where we'll talk about making a committee to see if we can get more involved. I will check with the groups, the Rotary and those groups, and see if, well, all of us to check if we can get any
There's
more
five,
support,
there's
any help.
5 people right here on this board.
And and we need to let, and we need to let people know that if that, it's a big issue. Everybody wants the fireworks and it's great, but if we don't get the support, it's not gonna be the same 3 of us down there. I mean, I like having the weekend off too, but for me to spend 3 or 4 hours down there or get Paul in the street, it's a lot. And they go down for the day of the vendors too, so I think it needs to have, the community wants it. I hope the community will step up and get some people to help out. We'll leave it at that. We'll talk about it again.
I can sign up
Thank
for
you.
radios, some handheld radios for the people that volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know we had set a budget meeting for later this week. I'm not nearly prepared to have a meeting in 2 days.
We'll be meeting on Thursday.
I think it was gonna be Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday?
So I think you said you're going away, Cheryl, and then there's that Thanksgiving business.
I hit it down Thursday, but okay.
Oh, anyway, I still won't be ready.
Okay, so it's not Thursday. Okay, so.
Sorry.
So will you let us know? Maybe we can make another day at the 24th and 25th and do it that week.
We can,
You wanna make it now? Do you wanna wait?
let's wait.
Okay. So we'll just have to have a couple closer together.
All right, that's all I have for now.
Any other questions or comments for Paul? Thank you, Paul. I know there's a lot going on. Good. Okay, no other local visit, Rutland Regional Planning Commission? Sarah?
So the commissioners haven't met since the last select board meeting, but the TAC did meet, the Transportation Advisory Committee that Joel was talking about earlier, on October 30th. And it was a pretty quiet meeting. The gist of it was an update on the municipal roads general permit from the state, from Department of Environmental Conservation. Not really a whole lot of takeaways here, just some information about the program that Joel and I will use to when identifying the MRTP projects for next year. Place for next year.
Thank you.
I did want to say one more thing. I know there's a lot of questions going out there around about the bond vote, and I'm working on a narrative with the assistance of Sarah and Jamie Lee that we hope to get out and circulate on the internet, etc. I'd like to do it, by maybe Wednesday, so that we can get some stuff out there. Jamie Lee is going to put together a PowerPoint for me because she knows how to do that technical stuff that I don't. And my narrative, I'm trying to anticipate the questions that people might have.
So we'll have lots of facts, like a fact sheet.
So
Yes.
You gave Debbie Brown grades to Paul.
Okay.
Carol, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's 4 questions.
Our architect has also agreed to take a look at it before I put it out there. And I think he's gonna join our informational meeting via Zoom in the event a question comes up that I can't answer, but maybe he can answer.
Good. Any other questions for Paul? Thank you, Paul. Public comments. I don't know if we have anybody on Zoom before we get to everybody down here. Is anybody on Zoom, Paul?
There's there was 11, now there's 5.
Hello. I'm
Hello.
Alicia. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Hi. Okay, I just have a couple questions. Hang on, wrong page here. So, And this, Paul, is in reference to what you're going to put on your PowerPoint, just some of the things that I've been thinking about, one way or the other. Will you have a breakdown of purchase price for the building itself and, architectural fees, a safe? Do you need a safe? Those are all things I've been hearing. So I'm
Yeah,
curious if you'll have that ready for the informational meeting.
Yeah, we have, I'll briefly tell you what the narrative talks about, anticipates the question, why do we need a new office? And what's it gonna cost me?
Right.
And there is an estimate that the architect gave us that I plan, unless he thinks I shouldn't, I plan to, attach to the PowerPoint. It does give a breakdown. My narrative does give a breakdown of, the 1.4 includes the purchase price, and the purchase price is X. Discusses the limitations with this building as far as accommodating all the staff that works for the town of Poultney being unable to in this building. It has the layout of what the proposed layout once the project is, if the bond does get approved, what the building's gonna look like, where so-and-so's office is gonna be and where's the vault gonna be, etc. So I think it's gonna have quite a bit of information, hopefully. Hopefully I anticipate at least some of the more poignant questions.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And did you mention in there what the tax implication would be for the residents?
I've quadruple checked my math on that.
Okay, yeah.
I met with the assessor this morning to make sure I have the most current grand list values, so that, because that's how I calculate how much payment's going to cost me every year, and you compare it to what the grand list, and you can tell. I mean, right now it says it's going to cost for every $100,000 of your value, this is what it's going to cost you. So yeah, that's going to be in there.
Okay. And one of the other questions I've seen floating around, I'm sure you guys have seen it as well. Have other properties been explored? You don't have to answer me tonight, but just I think those are questions that will come up that you can be proactive with in your presentation. Have other places, can the firehouse be built onto, or a facility brought in to accommodate the needs of the town? For town hall to be near the fire department. And then, so I've heard Rob Hughes's place is available for purchase. Has that been explored? So those are just the things.
We have not explored anything, but the Stone Bridge, which the town already owns, and we talked about that, I don't know, 2 years ago now. And, because of the entities that are in there now, the board got a lot of pushback from the public that a lot of people didn't want us displacing, the nursery school there. Because it's seen as a very viable asset to the community that we would hate, we wouldn't want to, displace.
Yeah.
So that was the one property that we considered.
Okay.
And I guess that as far as the Rob Hughes building, this has been, it's a living exploration, and I don't think you can just say, oh, now this building's for sale, let's stop what we've been doing and look at that, either building X or building Y that's not for sale. Frankly, I think you'd never make any progress if you did it that way, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I just think these are questions that will come up, and so if you have some thoughts prior to, then you can respond. And then I think my final question is, is there going to be conversation, or has there been conversation about a town garage being built? And is that on the same location? Is that, purchasing another property in town? And if that is the case and conversation has been happening about that and the need is there, can the town garage go on Firehouse Lane?
I mean, the town garage issue has been a discussion at this table for several years now. 3 years, Joel's indicating.
Thank you.
We have explored 3 options with the assistance of the same architectural firm that assisted us with the town office study. And they studied 3 different sites. One where we currently are, one that is owned by the village of Poultney, and one that is owned by a private entity. I've been trying to work with the one spot we like, I think, is the one that's owned by the private entity that I've had some discussions with the owner, albeit rather slowly. So that's the one I think we're trying to explore the most. We did a study, if the highway garage isn't gonna be where it's currently located, what else would the town do with that property? So we've had a study about that, specifically looking at it for being a rec hub for the community. So we've had lots of planning, lots of conversations about both the town office and the highway garage.
Okay, so currently the town garage piece is not part of the bank building $1.4 million bond. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm just throwing out these ideas, things I've seen.
Sure.
I'm sure you've seen them if anybody checked Facebook and Neighborhood Watch, but I'm guessing these questions are going to come up.
I don't check either of those.
Good for you. Well, now you got a heads up on what's been there.
Yeah, I suspected. I mean,
Thank you,
you know,
Alicia.
people don't like change. I get that, and people don't want to spend money if they don't have to. I get that too.
Yeah. Well, it's just questions. It's a bond. You're asking the voters. So these are things that have come up. So I just would, if you have answers to those or any questions that somebody's come up with, that'll help the population understand what they're voting for.
Sure. And I've talked to the bond bank and what are the current rates and, everything. So
Okay.
I hope people understand that that we're taking our time and we're trying to do it with thoroughly. So
sure. All right. Thank you.
This is not something that just came out of the woodwork. And
Thank you, Alicia.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Excuse me, Cheryl, Mark Flynn.
Mark.
One question I keep hearing around town are what are the ramifications if the bond vote does not go through? Are we going to lose? I think it might be important for people to understand if we lose any money that might have been put down as a deposit or such.
yeah, we have there's a $15,000 deposit that if it does get approved by the bond vote, that will go towards the purchase price. We'll get credit towards the purchase price. But if the bond vote goes down, we forfeit that deposit. Similarly, we had to extend our contract and this board agreed to essentially replace his lost rent for a few months. That's like $3,050 a month that will not be credited towards the purchase price. So those are the numbers that are in jeopardy, if you will.
I'd leave it up to you, Paul. I appreciate you trying to come up with the narrative. I didn't know. Leave it up to you if you feel that's important to include or not include. I just thought I'd throw it out there.
That's a good idea, Mark. I hadn't even thought about it, and I think that's a good idea.
Thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you for the
Thank you, Mark.
suggestions.
Anybody else on Zoom? Okay, anybody here have any comments or questions?
I have two questions.
Sue?
Has the select board, done any further discussion on the highway department's winter hour change?
No, we have not. Hasn't been on our agenda, so we have not. Not background.
So is that going to be discussed in the near future?
I don't know what people think.
I don't think there's anything that the board wants.
It's been
to
working
discuss
fine.
about it. Well, discussing
Because
an
it's,
issue.
because it's dark. The days are much shorter. So, and again, the board said they were going to study this and see how it's working. And I haven't seen any documentation saying so.
I think what I indicated is that Nisha and I discussed looking at, particularly the winter hours. We haven't done that yet. Currently, we're, at least from Nisha's perspective, just finishing up our audit, which that consumes, I don't think people understand that consumes a lot of time for the staff here. But this board hasn't said to me, let's have this discussion or give me those results of that study. And I think it's, upon further reflection, I think it's gonna depend winter to winter. You never know what you're gonna get. You never.
Correct.
Yes, no, it seems to be working, Sue.
Can we check with the highway department to see how
Yeah.
the guys feel about it, if they're feeling they have enough time to get done what they need to get done?
Like it much better in
Tell
5
you
years,
guys.
1 year, but
Get more done.
Unfortunately, we did have a lot of storms last year. Now we're Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but
So is Hunter working for you on, that's on the updated?
He did help fill in a couple
Yeah.
times. We've
So-
done a couple of joint projects, us at the highway department assisting the transfer station with the guardrails and welding and things that the transfer station doesn't have the ability to do.
Right.
And, I took a vacation last week, for anyone that wants to know. And,
what?
we had-
Vacation?
yeah, and we had some things that needed to get done that they required,
Yeah.
timeline, and
Good for you.
we also were required to take our time off as needed.
Yeah. That's why you get paid.
I just have one more thing going back to the bond. When you get your, your bullet points narrative together, I wondered whether it would be useful to have just a simple paper flyer mailer, bulk mail it to all residents. Because not everyone does Facebook and Neighborhood Watch and checks websites or gets the journal. And I really think it would be really important for people who don't do that kind of stuff to get some information ahead of time and know when that meeting is, so that they can't say, well, we didn't know about this and we haven't, this is a surprise to me, because you do hear that a lot when they can't put their hands on something. And since we don't have much of a local paper anymore, I mean, maybe Roy would put something in his, I don't even know if that's in town. But anyway, a loose leaf flyer mailed out is not that expensive. I think as Pat can attest to, we used to do it for the schools all the time. And it always gave me comfort knowing that that information got out. So that people had a little bit. So that's food for thought.
One of your elderly people don't have computers or access. Well, I think it takes care of the whole population.
That does work too. Now Jay's gonna put it on Facebook, right?
Oh, he is.
No,
I'm not putting it on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook.
I'm trying.
What does the board feel? What does the board feel? Jay, what does the board feel? Make the flyer, feel something, the charge?
I think a bulk mailing would be great.
You know how expensive?
Yeah, it would have to be something, so.
It would have to be. You wanna look into that, Paul?
I can,
Does the board feel that that's something that we should do?
Is the bulk mailing just letting them know about the meeting or is it
No.
letting them know the bullet points of the
The
meeting?
bullet, right, yes.
Summarized on it,
One sheet,
just like.
currently it's 2 pages.
I think so, without any of the diagrams or drawings or anything.
You won't be able to put the PowerPoint on
No.
paper, like it just, I think it's just like, we will be meeting on the 24th in regards to purchasing the bank building, so I'm saying is a notice. to come to
I
the
think
meeting.
that their impact on the potential tax rate. And letting people know that this is your current grand list.
Major.
Next year's grand list might look a little different.
A little different.
You know, I think cost, you know, people want to know what it's gonna cost them and they want to know why. I mean,
Yeah.
I think 50 reasons as to why.
Yeah, I think this is a big enough thing where it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I know sometimes we get people that just say, I didn't know, and it's about lesser issues. Like, I think this is big enough where if anyone's gonna claim they didn't know, then we have to do everything we can.
And I think you can maybe condense some of your points. It doesn't have to be super detailed. They're not interested, they need to come to the meeting.
Mhm.
Can they come and just look at a mock-up of what the building would look like? I mean, we must have a blueprint.
I mean, we just have it's just a conceptual thing at this level.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the-
how it's supposed to be, they can come in and look at it.
I could more copies on the countertop of the.
that'd be a starting point. With more information we get out there.
That would cover the only base that's not covered. Because we'll post it online, we'll put it in the journal, we do all the,
And Facebook.
yeah, on Facebook, that's online.
If I could suggest something, because when we had those whole comes together meetings,
Right.
having free pizza really brought people
Oh, yeah.
to that meeting.
Yeah.
Although people did call here and ask who was providing the pizza, because if it was this or that one, they didn't want to come.
Yeah.
They say, save the pizza, we need it for the vote, we need it for the budget. It's worth it, yeah.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
Okay, any other questions? We have an attorney here that we're paying.
Somebody make a motion that we're gonna do that.
Attorney.
Hold on, just a minute, Mary Sue, though, do we have a motion on the table that we're going to
Sure.
have Paul send out a flyer, or we're just gonna leave it here? What did we decide?
Does it need to be a motion to send the flyer out?
No.
We don't? But you're just gonna take care of that, Paul, we don't need a motion for it.
Take care of that and
Anything else? Okay, don't need a motion, sorry.
No.
All right, Mary Sue.
All right, any progress on the delinquent tax sales from the attorney?
no, other than the fact that I sent them the list, and I haven't talked to them since then.
Okay, thank you.
Leave it out and have questions. Anybody have anything great to say, like the temporary bridges,
That's a memory.
Any good news?
It's going good. I know.
Every day.
I'd like to say something like that with the temporary bridge. I'll make it quick. So as people may have noticed, there is now flashing yellow lights, amber lights, whatever color you want to call them, out there. That is a warning or a pre-warning that you are about to go into a construction zone and you still have to stop at the actual stop sign that's required by state law to stop. So that doesn't mean, you just drive through in a big conglomerate of 15 vehicles like I witnessed today. Yeah, so I did ask about that because at first I thought it was kind of funny that we've got flashing amber, but we're also asking to stop. But due to the offset and V-Trans regulations, they want that flashing amber and they want it preceding the stop sign and the actual work zone as kind of to provide a buffer for entering the work zone and a heads up that you may need to yield to
we need to like stop even when flashing yellow.
I think we could use about 20 more signs out there to be God's honest truth with you, you know?
Well, they have the flaggers and they said go, and then I see there's a stop sign, I'm like, well, he told me to go, but here's a stop sign, so do I stop? And he's like, just keep
It
going.
just
I'm
seems
like,
like-
okay.
It's confusing.
It was a little
It
confusing.
seems
Yeah,
like people
stop.
will find a way to not do it correctly, no matter what.
It just looks good. It's like I see that's progress and that
It
they're
does, yeah, positive.
positive, they get progress, and it's, yeah, saving an old tree, which is nice, so.
Okay.
It was great, great job.
Hey, you want to do the board orders?
Yes, can I make a motion to sign the board orders, anyone? Have a second? Second from Mark, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Jim Carrey will sign the board order.
Yeah, of those following it.
One via.
That's how, yes. That's now, that, no, I just know that's, no, oh, this, this is very.
There's just one good stuff.
Hope you got calls ready to go home.
Yeah, second point.
Yes.
Here. Further. One, via section 313A1. Motion to enter into executive attorney-client communication.
Oh, yes. I'm gonna enter executive session with Mary, Joe Peter, and Attorney Gary Cupfer.
Outside.
Where you was?
So Mark Teeter made the motion at 9:42 to leave executive session. Jay Morgan seconded the motion. Motion passed with everyone in favor. No action taken. And now someone would like to make a motion to
To
adjourn.
adjourn.
I second.
Seconded by Jay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm just.
Motion carried, we are adjourned.